saying that they're joining, which is fine. I hope they join with us over time. And thank you for those of us who are here. I can see we have a quorum, can proceed. And so today we shall be dealing with a very useful topic called emotional intelligence. But before then, just to catch up and hear how you guys are doing. If we can start with James, you can just share how your week was, how you got opportunities to challenge your leadership skills here and there, if you don't mind.
So thank you, Duncan. Good morning.
Morning.
So thank you. I had a very interesting week. In fact, it was a week full of leadership, expressing leadership, of expressing leadership skills, and in particular, there was a need for personal leadership because a lot was expected from me. The pressure we were talking about, and at the same time, very many competing tasks. There was a temptation to do some procrastination, but basing on what we learned during last week, I was able to have a proper self-planning, and also I was able to manage the stress that came with it, and I'm glad. In fact, I'm anticipating for today's class about emotional intelligence, because there was a situation whereby I needed to manage my emotions. Thank you. Back to you, Duncan.
Thank you. Exactly, that is the beauty of leadership. Every day we encounter situations, and I am happy that you are able to pull yourself through and apply some of the skills. And I'm sure as we go along, you'll also see how you can apply emotional intelligence skills in your daily duties. Thank you, James. Betty, you can greet us.
Good morning, everyone. Betty is my name. I'm glad to be here. The week was just same as my friend recorded earlier. Yeah, sometimes you just have to step up, and I think that is why I had to join specific for this one, so that I can get more sharper and sharper. Thank you.
Amen. Wonderful. So we trust that keep on sharpening their skills, because knowledge is power, and skills will always be one of the tools you can use to make a difference in your life and in your career. So karibu sana, Betty. Edu, I know we were with you this week, but still can just greet us.
Thank you, Duncan, and good morning, team. I hope we had a great week. So for me, I had a wonderful week. I know we were with you, but in the same way, I was able to just express some of the leadership skills when we were interacting with the healthcare workers, and during some presentation that we had along the week at facility level. I was able to demonstrate some of the leadership skills along the way in that week. Thank you, and back to you, Duncan.
Thank you very much. Can see my friend Seth is here. Seth, tusalimie.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, senior. Last week I missed the class, and I really felt very bad, honestly. And for this week, I had to put my alarm in place, and I'm here. I'm happy to be here today. I hope you're going to learn and enjoy, and actually not even enjoy, and practice what we are learning, what we'll be learning today in our various activities going forward. Thank you, and back to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Seth, and karibu sana. We missed you too last week. but it was introduction. We'll be able to catch up as we go along. Nancy, are you there?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Duncan. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Last week, I had a wonderful week. I didn't have much to do. Yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm excited. Thank you.
Sure. Karibu sana, Nancy, and we look forward to having you in class as we interact also in this session for today for emotional intelligence. Me too, I had a wonderful week. It was quite a hectic one, running around in the field, meeting stakeholders here and there. But all the same, the leadership skills comes into play frequently because you have to handle different emotions, you have to handle different people. And one specifically was when we were handling an issue of a certain staff in a facility who had issues, and we were able to listen in, and I realized one of the skills which you might want as a leader is what you call the presence. Being present makes you see a lot instead of receiving reported speech. So that's one of the skills I learned this week, that as much as possible as a leader, be present in the life of your children, be present in their school activities, be present with your family, be present with your parents, get some time to just sit with them, even if there's no agenda which you're saying you want to do. But just being there, you tend to observe a lot of things and you can make very informed decisions. So to me, that was an highlight of the week. And I know Edward here can bear witness that when you visited those facilities, you can actually see the true picture of situation instead of looking at the reports and also receiving reported speech. So thank you, and today we just delve into the topic of the day because it's a bit heavy, but we will keep interacting a lot so that you can be able to get the skills and benefit from the content, which is on emotional intelligence. And this is one of the skills which separates true leaders and the average leaders. That has been shown over time, because when you look at the concepts in this session, you will see that you can use it as leading downwards and also leading upwards. So here, I mean, you can use it to manage your bosses or your superiors, or you can use it to manage also your juniors or the people you lead. Yeah, so it is cutting across. So when you have the skills of emotional intelligence, you will find that it cuts two ways. You can be able to know how to manage both ways. So of course, for just a recap, we know that leadership is the ability to influence yourself, and personal leadership per se is about your ability to really influence yourself to a positive goal and to achieve a certain goal which you want in life. But also it's your ability to utilize the resources which are there at your disposal to achieve a certain result, which you should always have in mind that results come out of the actions and the information which you share. The other thing is the fact that the currencies of a leader will be the issues of responsibility, your passion to make a difference, seeing the possibility in a situation while others are seeing a limitation, and being ready to stand out in the crowd really, and stand for your convictions, have the courage to stand out from the crowd. That is the true leadership which we would want. Yeah, the other thing is about having the skill to really start off, because one of the things which most people do is they procrastinate a lot. And so when you take on leadership skills, you'll find that you need to start off, you need to move. Perfection is a myth. And so those people who make things happen do not wait for perfection. They start off and the perfection comes along the way. So these are some quotes which has been said about emotional intelligence, in that it can take 30 seconds to destroy a career which you have built for 30 years. Because in a moment of stress, in a moment of challenge, you might just make a decision which can destroy everything. The way we usually say, kujenga nyumba ni ngumu lakini kubomoa ni rahisi. So it is true, even in families, you will find that people have stayed together for 20 years, 30 years, and then just one event happens and the whole 30 years is lost, the family is broken, and everything goes down. Similar to your career, similar to your work, your education, your relationships, you'll find that it can only take 30 seconds of snapping off and you lose all those efforts you have done. And that causes even more stress. So you might find that in a stressful situation, somebody may say something instantly and then you regret about it. You might snap without thinking. You can send an email which you would wish later to take it back. And the worst usually is saying something which you can wish later you want to take it back, but it's a bit late. So emotional intelligence is so important in that sense. We always have pressure moments. Life is about 3 situations. You are either within a pressure moment, or you are about to get into a pressure moment, or you are just coming out of a pressure moment. And that is the beauty of life, because without pressure, you will find that life can be very boring. So during those pressure moments, emotional intelligent people should be able to know how to respond and how to really deal with the situation. So before we cut into details, let's remind ourselves, what is an emotion? What's an emotion? As you can see in those photos, you can see the different emotions which can occur. And all of us sometimes go through this in one day. Some of us can go in a month in different phases. As I was saying, they say you can either be in one, you can be out of one, or you're about to enter into one of the emotions. So you'll find that that mental state that arises spontaneously rather than through a conscious effort is an emotion. So you will find it's always accompanied by physiological changes. You see somebody shaking. I don't know, what are some of the body changes which we find in emotions, which you can give an example. Some people might cry.
Trembling.
They can tremble, yes. Yeah, somebody trembles. Which other physical changes which you usually see? Yes. Seth?
Sometimes talking to you may find some sounds coming out of you and you can't even tell what you're saying.
You speak in tongues.
Kinda.
Unajikuta unasindirima na kusandara barabara. Yeah, so inaitwa incoherent speech. Yeah. What are some of the other physical changes we find ourselves when you get into an emotion? Remember, they can be good or bad. James?
A rush of thoughts of all manner.
Leading to physical changes. We want to the physical changes.
Oh, the physical changes, eh? Oh, frowning.
Yes.
Frowning.
Yeah, you find yourself frowning. But also there's the positive ones where you find yourself laughing. I'm sure there are people who you look at an email or a certain message on your phone, you just laugh. That is still an emotion. Other people can shake their heads. Some people can just throw their fists in the air, or they put their hands across their chests and bite their lips. All those are physical changes that can occur when you are actually going through an emotion. And so those physical body changes occurs, and therefore we need to be very much aware of that. Let me take you to science kidogo, just to know how these emotions occur. Because unless you understand the cause of this, you will not really realize them when they occur. You will not see the symptoms. So it comes from our brain system. You know, the body is a very complex organ which God developed himself. And some of these emotions come from specific parts of the brain which are responsible for either protecting you or keeping you safe from danger, or helping you move towards something good or something which is nice for you to continue living well. So it is coming from what we call the limbic system. The limbic system is a whole system which comprises of mainly the four areas, which is the basal ganglia, the thalamus, the hypothalamus, and amygdala, and the hippocampus. But in general, the emotional control center is confined to the three parts. And one of them is the amygdala, which usually say it's a tiny alarm. So it helps you to feel fear, excitement, or happiness. So when you see somebody looking at an email or looking at their phone or social media and they smile, it's the amygdala which has told them this is something nice and you need to be excited. And you see somebody looking at a certain photo, like the way we saw the photo of a policeman shooting a young man, the amygdala brought in the message of fear. So you would see people saying, "Hi, gosh, amempiga." So that is the amygdala doing that. Then the hippocampus, which is the memory box, is where now it stores. It's like the storage system of the emotions. So it stores that memory, so that when you get into an opportunity to go through something, you start remembering, oh, when I met this person, this is how I felt. When I saw this picture, this is how I feel. And then we have the hypothalamus, which is now the controller of the physical changes, which includes the heart rate and the sweating and the shaking and the incoherent speech and the rest. So those three are the main control center systems, and they are responsible for these common emotions. So you'll see these emotions which we know. You can be mad, you can be sad. Some people just be happy, some are scared. You can just be crazy. I mean, feeling just tightness of the body, of the chest. All those are emotional changes that can occur. And this is the reason why you see teenagers getting so moody. It is because of these emotions. And when somebody's growing up or a human being is growing, these parts of the brain, this was sharing to you, the amygdala, the limbic system mainly, is the one which are responsible for producing these hormones. And this is what causes them to be very, very moody. And I know some people can carry this even up to adulthood, where you find somebody is so moody, meaning that they move from one emotion to the other quickly. They can be laughing at the moment, the next minute they are crying. They can be happy at this moment, the next minute they just want to be alone. They don't want anybody to touch them. They might be just sad at a moment, at a flick of a second, somebody is already running around, cleaning the house, washing dishes, and very energetic. Then you wonder, is this the same person I was dealing with some few minutes ago? So you realize that hormones, and you can see this is more in women and ladies, because estrogen and progesterone are the hormones which are really produced by the limbic system, and therefore the emotions are really active in women. You find men have emotions, yes, but they tend to be suppressed more than the ladies. So in general, it is science in it, and when you understand the science of emotions, you can be able to know this is the point and be aware. When we now get into emotional intelligence, you can be sharp now to know, or intelligent to know what is your emotion. So there's a difference between emotional intelligence and what we call cognitive, meaning the normal academic intelligence, the normal career, or your ability to conceptualize things. So cognitive intelligence is where you use it to solve problems. It's the logical reasoning, abstract thinking, and the rest, critical thinking, and the rest. But emotional intelligence, which is the most important, but unfortunately it's not taught in school, is the one which helps you to recognize, understand, manage, and influence your own emotions and also emotions of others. So this was popularized by Professor Daniel Coleman, who realized that there is a difference between people with cognitive intelligence and those ones with emotional intelligence. So, for example, I've seen this a lot in the health sector. You'll find a very good doctor or a surgeon doing very good performance in terms of maybe brain surgery, which is one of the highly delicate surgeries, the neurosurgeons. But when the same person is given to be a medical superintendent or be the leader of the hospital, he fails miserably. And you wonder what happened, because he's a very sharp guy. He can do a lot of very delicate surgeries. He can dissect those nerves and make somebody even walk again or come back from coma. But when they are given the chance to lead the whole hospital, to become the manager, you will find all of a sudden there is a strike. Healthcare workers are very negative, and they have not received maybe their payments on time. They are saying they are not being listened to. So they have challenges in leading people. So when we realized this, I realized emotional intelligence is very different from cognitive intelligence. And therefore, you need to deliberately take yourself to such classes like where you are now to really learn about emotional intelligence, because it's not something you will get in school or in class. It is something which you yourself, you have to take effort to really learn and practice, because in leadership, we usually say it is not a theoretical course, it is a practical experience on a daily basis. So that is why the philosophers would say in the past that anybody can become hungry. That is very easy. But to be hungry with the right person, to the right degree, and at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not within everybody's power, and it is not easy. So that is the Aristotle saying that we need to be emotionally intelligent. It is not easy to say that you are going to be hungry without having to understand, are you being hungry at the right time, at the right place, to the right degree, to the right purpose? You should be aware of that, and it is not within everybody's power. And that is the reason why we are here in this class. And I'm not saying that I'm the perfect expert for emotional intelligence. I've also learned along the way, and I'm still learning myself and how to manage others. So emotional intelligence really covers 5 aspects, and we shall look at them one by one shortly. So the first one, which is so critical, is self-awareness. So self-awareness is the starting point. And usually when we do this, we would have an exercise for all of us to to look at their personalities, to be aware of your temperament, to be aware of yourself, what makes you hungry, what makes you excited, what makes you sad, what makes you happy. And then after that, you now move to the second component, which is empathy, which is now the fact that you can be able to listen and put yourself in the shoes of others and make a decision based on what you feel that person might be going through. Then the other one is self-motivation. Here we are talking about issues around your ability to really push yourself despite resistance, despite challenges. When you have issues of procrastination, when you have issues around delaying to make decisions, are you aware that that is an emotion which you need to be intelligent about and you need to work on it? And then, of course, self-regulation, meaning managing your emotion. You cannot say you will not be angry. You cannot say you will not be sad. You cannot say you will not be happy. But you need to be happy at the right places, at the right time. You need to laugh at the right place, at the right time. You need to be aware and regulate yourself. And of course, now outside the social awareness, which is understanding other people in teams, because we operate in a society. So if we look at this first one, I'm going to go through this so that we can look at each one of them one by one. When we discuss about our emotions, we'll have a point of discussion, self-awareness opportunity, just to discuss. So be ready for that as we go through this session. So self-awareness is the point whereby you can be able to understand your own emotions and stay aware of them as they happen. So it really is about recognizing your feelings. It's about really knowing who you are, knowing what makes you happy, what makes you sad. This is what we call the foundational basis of emotional intelligence. Because we say if you cannot notice our feelings, we will be at the mercy of others, of those feelings. So you will find if you're not able to notice that currently I am stressed, currently I am hungry, I am sad, I just feel very, very maybe stressed, maybe feeling that you want to just do something bad. When you are able to notice that, that emotion will not take advantage of you. You will not find yourself sending an email. You will not find yourself shouting. You will not find yourself sweating a lot. You will be able to understand that I am going through this, so it's my time either to keep quiet or to speak change my tone and that kind of thing. So self-awareness is a leader has to be really aware. If you're going to really be a personal leader, be aware of both your mood, your thoughts, and your thoughts about that mood. So, for example, this week we were hearing James telling us that he had an opportunity where he felt very kind of, if I'm not wrong, hungry, or was kind of having a lot of pressure in their deadlines, in doing some work here and there, or handling some people. When you really are emotionally intelligent, you can be able to describe the way you've described because you are aware. You said that when I really felt pressured. So with that, you are able to say, let me take a step back and handle this week. Do I need to talk to somebody? Do I need to change the environment and many others around the solutions? So as a leader, you have to have the ability to identify and most importantly, name that emotion. Because every emotional intelligence skill will build on the skill of self-awareness. And that is why for those of us who have attended counseling sessions, the biggest thing the counselor will do for you is to be self-aware. And there's nothing to say, do this and do that. Because the moment you are self-aware, you can be able to move and make a difference for yourself. I remember myself when I was still learning the skills of leadership, I had a chance. I mean, I had challenges in understanding my emotions, and I used to have one of my elder sisters who was in the village there, and they would always call and say, "I need 1,000 shillings." Every week they'll be having an issue which has come up, like it's something which is in her mind that he expects that for you are working in Nairobi, you should always be having money. And the fact that you are working, you are able to send money to them. So that really used to piss me off. So when I see a phone when I'm in a certain meeting or an activity, my mood quickly changes and I get so stressed. Like, again, she's a teacher, she has a salary. Why does she keep on asking me this money? So when I went for counseling sessions, and one of the things which the counselor helped me see was the fact that I harbored this feeling that I need to be a solution to all people's issues. So I was taken aback, and I became self-aware that I was taking my sister's issue as if it is me who is going to solve all our issues in her life, and therefore I was really stressed about that. So with that, I was able to now manage and realize I should not carry my sister on my heart and my shoulders, thinking that I'm the Messiah. I want to solve her problem. She's having an issue with borrowing money and that kind of thing. So I realized that she is the one to actually work on herself. And when I released her, and we shall look at some of the skills in a book I'm reading this week, I became very free and I was able to manage. And even when I see a phone call, I receive very well. And I just talk to her. I tell her, today I don't have money. Please check with me next month. So I know we'll be able to really ask yourself, how self-aware are you? How self-aware are you in the different aspects, whether your career, your social life, your spiritual life, your financial life, and your physical life, everything around the wheel of life. You need to be really aware about yourself. So prepare. If anybody has an experience, they can be able to share with us, because this is really the foundational skill of emotional intelligence. If you wish to share, you are allowed. This is an open and a safe environment. We trust that we can be able to help each other if somebody has an experience of really becoming self-aware about themselves, and that builds on emotional intelligence. So you can raise your hand anytime and you can be able to share as well. So we'll go to the second point, which is self-regulation. This is a very important aspect of regulating your emotions. It's your ability to manage those emotions. So we're talking about your ability not to suppress the emotions, not to numb those emotions, and not to diffuse the challenging emotions and do specific actions that can help you manage the emotions. So your ability to diffuse those emotions. So you realize when you are intelligent or emotionally intelligent, you will have self-regulation in terms of you can see an issue, you can feel the pressure, you can feel the urge to procrastinate, or the urge to delay, or the urge to beat somebody, the sense out of somebody, or the urge to really help this person to really improve. But you need to manage those emotions. So it's like when you are now listening to this class, something comes to your mind and you'd say, I would really wish so-and-so would be here to listen to this. I would really wish that person to be here to listen to this information, because I see him having issues, struggling to understand herself or himself, or struggling to really stay and work with others. So when you have such situation as an emotionally intelligent person, you know that you are already still holding that other person or the other person in your heart or in your shoulders, on your shoulders, and hoping and trying to see that you're going to give a solution to them, that when maybe they come to listen to this, they will be able to change quickly. But at the end of the day, this is the individual, or it is you as an individual first, to really release and regulate your emotions first before you manage the emotions of others. So I'll share with you this story which Mel Robbins talks about in a book, The Let Them Theory. It is a very good book on emotional intelligence, about how we can be able to regulate our emotions and how to really manage your emotions and be able to lead yourself. So one of the things she said is, learning how to let adults be adults has changed my life, and it will change yours too. Because when you finally stop giving your power to other people, you will see how much power you truly have. But perhaps the most surprising thing about the Let Them Theory is how I discovered in the first place. So she's giving that element of letting others be others, letting others be others, and that way you realize you have a lot of power to manage yourself, manage your emotions. Because when you stop trying to control things that aren't within your control, you realize that you'll stop wasting a lot of energy on things which you cannot control. You reclaim your time, your peace of mind, and your focus. You realize that your happiness is tied to your actions and not someone else's behavior, opinions, or mood. This sounds simple, but she's telling us that this shift will change everything. And it is about your time and your energy, because these are the most precious resources we have. So generally, the self-regulation component of emotional intelligence is all about really, really regulating yourself, managing your emotions, and letting others to manage their emotions and also develop as well. The third component of emotional intelligence is self-motivation. This is where most people now get into the challenge of delaying, procrastination, the issues of trying to relax when you face some resistance, or when you face an issue, when you have a challenge. You find that you don't have the energy to move. So, like the way Seth she shared this morning, that you had to put an alarm today for you to join this class. That is called self-motivation. So you have to take some actions to really make sure that you achieve what you want. It's called self-motivation. And the reason why this is so important is because of what I told you last week. It is called the great scattering, which occurs as we age, as you get older. You realize that a lot of things which you used to be told to do as you grew up, you had friends, you had parents, you had teachers talking to you. They would motivate you, because if I miss class, probably I will get punished. If I miss doing my homework, my mother will follow me up. If I miss going for the party, my friends will not be happy, will feel that I am leaving them out. But as you go along, you will realize this emotional intelligence skill of self-motivation comes into play, because you have to really pull yourself out of bed, even without a bell, even without somebody pushing you or telling you to wake up. You have to go and set your goals as a leader. And the personal leadership we're talking about is setting your goal and say, I want to achieve it. You have to look at maybe your finances. If you are in debt and you say, I just want to stop being in debt, I want to stop being Fulisa Maisha, and you become self-motivated in a way that even if you have this very pressing need of to doing something, unasema, I will not touch that savings which I have put somewhere safely. I will not go to this wedding. I will not give out this money for this WhatsApp group, yeah, Masish. This is the maximum I can do. So self-motivation is so critical for leaders as an emotional intelligence skill, because you harness the power of your emotions and you motivate yourself towards a certain goal, because self-leadership requires that you really motivate yourself to give yourself the best. So this is the principles. You should be very optimistic. You should have self-efficacy, meaning that you can be able to believe in yourself, and you should recognize your flaw. So up to there is, are we still together? Can give me a thumbs up. I know we have covered the critical ones. You can go to the other phase. So the three are actually critical for personal leadership: the self-awareness, self-regulation, and self-motivation. Seth, unaona hiyo self-motivation sasa, ile emotional intelligence comes in.
Aye, kabisa kabisa. I really relate very well with this topic.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. It really captures the essence, especially of our work. And I hope all of us, including Lillian, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Karibu sana. I hope you are getting something.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Okay.
So we'll go to the second phase, which is the now outside the person, your individual. As an individual, we'll go to empathy. This is now your ability to recognize and read feelings and emotions in others, which will include even the non-verbals. Because the more we understand the emotions of others, the more we are able to build relationships, we're able to build a rapport, we are able to move, we're able to achieve a lot. Because we know that in this life, you cannot achieve much unless you are able to relate well with others, because even in the spiritual sense, we say God blesses us, but it is through people. And that is the reality. God cannot come down and give you a car, cannot give you a job. But when you pray and you work with people, attend ceremonies, meet with different people, your ability to really read those emotions, ability to relate with others is what empathy is all about. You can be able to receive those blessings now going forward. So it means listening to others. It means understanding where they are coming from, in quotes, and their struggles. You need to see things from another person's perspective, and also supporting and guiding others with care. That is in leadership sense. So in general, empathy is not just about reading emotions of others, but it's about also understanding those emotions and be able to come up with strategies to align yourself with those emotions and be able to know that at this point, this is what I need to do. For example, I'll give you an example. When I was looking for a job in Nairobi some years back, and this is a person I've never met. So we were in a certain workshop, and of a lunch hour, I went to meet she was a director of a certain NGO, and I just went to sit with her at a table, and the first thing I greeted her, and I told her that was a wonderful presentation you did. It really resonated well with me. And I have this idea, this could be done this way, this could be done this way. And because I knew this is a senior person, as a manager, they would resonate well with numbers. They like seeing impact. They want to see ideas. They want to see innovative things. So at the end of the session, of course, she was impressed and said, "Oh, that is good. You can have my number," and the rest. So after that, I texted her and told her I would wish to get a job from that area. If there's an opening, you can inform me. So when they advertised, I was able to quickly go to that organization. And when she saw me, she said, "Oh, so you are the one." And we interviewed. Of course, I did well in the interview. And that relationship alone of a lunch hour, it was like 10 minutes relationship, but it really made her feel so comfortable with me. And I got that job at that during that interview. So the ability to read the emotions of others, the ability to understand what people are going through, how they want to feel things, where they are coming from, what really drives their thoughts, makes you relate very well and have easy time with working with others. I am not saying it's going to be so easy for you to learn, because not everybody is so easy to read. There are people who will be coming with smiling or happy, thinking, you might think that they are so excited. But when you are emotionally intelligent, you can see the nonverbal. Somebody might be smiling at you, but you can tell from their body language that they are not really happy, or they are going through some issues. And from my experience in life, I've seen when you mention that and you really read and accurately name the emotion they are going through, most of the people will quickly stop and listen to you. And I know, Edward, you've seen me using this a lot in our meetings. So when I stand up, when I see people, I would say, I trust that you are having still having a good morning. So of course, I know in that statement, there are people who will say, we are so tired of this meeting, we want to end. So when somebody hears that, they will laugh and say, for sure, we are still having a good morning. In quote, some people will say yes, some others will say no, we are so tired. So with that, just reading that emotion, you can be able to blend well with the crowd, and they will be able to listen to you. You can meet somebody and you can tell them, hey, Dr. I can see you are so stressed with work. I can see you are really pushing yourself. You are the only doctor in this hospital. You are being waited for in the maternity. You are being waited for in the outpatient. It must be a very stressing day to you. Just that mentioning of that, the person will feel so relaxed and say, for sure, thanks for realizing that. They might not say directly to you, but they will go back and start listening to you, because they start realizing you really empathize with their situation. So there are so many skills you can use, but the most important skill is to read and know the emotions. So when you have empathy, you will realize you can build relationships easily. That means you can people can trust you more. You are sensitive to your environment. You're able to read the mood in the room quickly. You become outgoing, because you can be able to build a network easily, and you can improve your problem-solving skills. And in the sense, you can reduce the conflicts you have in the workplace. So that is very important for us to know on self and empathy. The second last on emotional intelligence skills for understanding other people's emotions is what we call social awareness. Here we are talking about relationships now. How do you manage emotions in others? How do you master the ability to bring others into your emotional realm? And how do you set the emotional tone without being a social chameleon? That means you are honest and you're kind of genuine in what you present. So you will see, for example, this is mostly used in teamwork. So you'll find when you are told to lead a team, social awareness helps you coordinate teams quickly, because you will start seeing and say, so-and-so is very good in analysis. Let me pair them with so-and-so. This person is usually silent and they are very good in mathematics. So let me give them a task which helps them do a lot of tasks on their own and do the things they want at their desk. So you organize groups and you can actually build teams very easily when you have social awareness. It will also help you in negotiating. So you'll see that you can be able to negotiate a situation. For example, you find people who are you want to have a meeting with them, like what we do on a daily basis. We want to have a CME so it's our team. Your ability to have social awareness will help you negotiate, because they'll tell you we are having another activity on that day, we are having this. But with your social awareness, you can be able to persuade them and probably tell somebody, I know you are having this activity coming up, but you look at this equally. You can be able to combine this in the morning, then you can do that in the afternoon, or we can have yours today, then we do the other one tomorrow, and that kind of thing. And many others benefits, including the team dynamics and improving the team. They feel you care for them. So for you to improve your social awareness skills, make sure you sharpen your observing, asking, and listening skills. Take time to observe people. Take extra time, because some people might not tell you who they are quickly or how they want to be treated. But it is you now who will be able to observe and say, yes, this is a person who needs to be listened to. This is a person who wants to take advantage of an opportunity where there are others working and yeye anataka tu kukulia wengine. So social awareness is very important, and you can actually tell very, very many things. I don't know who else can be able to tell us how they can improve their social awareness, in addition to what I've written in this slide, and including also your practical experience from your understanding of social awareness. Anybody can unmute and probably share. Or rather, we can just look at those statements and maybe tell us what you think about them. So, for example, maybe Betty, are you in a position you can look at the issue of playing back and summarizing? What do you think that would mean for social awareness, or any of them in the list here?
Thank you for saying any of the list. So mine, practically what I've learned to do is on one, after the previous session, spending time observing, asking, and listening. So before the session, the last module, I realized I had a weakness of not sometimes listening to some people, or just going mute. If somebody is, you are coming with your statement and I'm looking at you, oh, okay, sawa. But right now I'm able to sometimes observe also. If I am of a different opinion, I will ask, why do we do this or something? And also actively listening. That is also something that I've really appreciated, because sometimes a meeting ends and then someone asks, alisema nini kwa hiyo mkutano? You're like, okay, we were in that meeting, all of us. So pole pole, it's a learning. Thank you.
Amazing, yeah. Yeah, it's a learning curve. Pole pole, you get to improve on those social awareness skills, yes. Maybe somebody else?
Yes, so I also relate or try to pick spend extra time observing, asking and listening, and also read body language. So spend extra time observing and reading body language, speak to each other before engaging. For example, in our day-to-day activity, we've planned to visit a facility, and the obvious the obvious discussions from the facility and the sub-county team that tunakuanga na wale wanakuja kupiga kelele. So when ukifika and you see the body language is like, okay, they are not ready, or they are tense, or they are willing to listen, and now you can pick from where to start from. So I have picked that as one of areas for social awareness skills.
Sure. Thank you, Seth. Anybody else who would wish to say something?
Hi.
Yes, Lilian.
I try to resonate with try on their shoes, because this is where you try to be in the person's shoes. You try to understand what they are going through. So you're able to understand from their perspective and you're able to deal it from there. So it's like not really sympathizing, but empathizing. So you be in their shoes so that you can be able to understand them well. Thank you.
Sure. Very true. And it can go both ways. When you see somebody is really mad or stressed, you try to be on their shoes and see what could be causing that situation. When you see somebody is so happy and excited, you also try to be on their shoes to see that at this point, yes, somebody would be happy, and it's allowed. At that point, you allow them to be happy. I don't see any other Anne or any other person. Well and good. So thank you for those sharing. Very important for us to know how to can boost our social awareness skills. So we look at something small on how we can be able to really build our emotional intelligence on a continuous basis. And of course, you have to ask yourselves, what are the triggers that make you want to give someone a piece of your mind? You feel, what are some of those? And equally on the other side, what are the triggers that make you very excited and happy? Yeah, so some people will say being lied to. Some people say when people don't meet deadlines, holding grudges, negative comments on Facebook, sarcasm, and many others. Yeah, so how can you build your emotional intelligence? So allow me to introduce you to these wonderful cycles, three of them which have made a big difference in emotional intelligence. Is that you have the cycle of control, you will have the cycle of influence, and you will have the cycle of concern. So we agree that emotionally intelligent people work on the things that they can do something about, that they can control, and that this helps you to enlarge your cycle of influence. If you increase your cycle of control, you will increase your cycle of influence, and you will reduce your cycle of concern. So in essence, if you understand these three cycles, you'll be able to move and become more intelligent, because there are things which you can control and there are things which you cannot control. So for example, if somebody comes to work when they are so moody and hungry, and we usually say when people who are stressed out, they usually like to carry others along. So they would want to make everybody in the office stressed. You should not allow yourself to get into that. You have control over how you would react to that person. But if, for example, there is something which you feel this is a person who has some challenges, maybe in their work, their responsibilities are too much, they are being stressed, you can do some influence by probably talking to a certain, maybe their bosses or something, to help them. But you cannot control the way they would respond, or they would be angry about different experiences. So again, borrowing from the book I'm reading now called the Let Them Theory, which I thought is a very useful book on emotional intelligence. And if I can just show you, this is the book I'm talking about. Let me just put on my camera. You can see Yeah, that is the book I'm talking about. The Latent Theory by Mel Robbins. You can see I'm doing this class from my vehicle. I was actually on the road to pick one of my daughters from school. So you can see that in one of the pages about really improving your cycle of control, she's saying that it comes out of the issue of frustrations. You can be feeling jealous. You can be feeling you are really tired. You are struggling with issues. But there are things which you can control yourself. So, for example, and I think we mentioned this last week, say, how do you turn those moments of frustration into something good? How do you flip comparing yourself with others into inspiration? So anytime you find yourself being frustrated or playing the game of comparing yourself with others, that shows there is something really important and that is happening. So do not allow excuses to take over. Put in the process of making a difference. She's putting in the reps. And that means to be successful, for example, you want to do something to improve maybe you're working on your academics, to write a book or to do something. Show up every day. Show up every day. Do something which you would want to make that difference, and you can be able to improve your cycle of control. Because when you show up every day, the truth is that you don't have to be special. You just have to do what most people are not doing, what is consistent, determined, and you're willing to work for it. That element increases your self-control, because when you build yourself, like the way you are attending this class, you are reading books, you are going to the YouTube to listen to some videos, you are talking to mentors here and there, that improves your cycle of control, and you'll see you will have more control over your capacity, and you'll be able to see over time, you are now seeing things differently. So the other thing she's saying is about playing your game to win. So she's saying it is also allowing yourself to win or free up your energy for yourself. Take care of yourself. That means you have freedom to do things differently for yourself and in your relationships. So letting others to do their things, but also working on yourself increases your cycle of control. And that helps you increase your cycle of influence. So I'll give you an example. This week I was in a certain work in a certain hospital here in somewhere in Tharaka-Nithi with Edward. And one of the things we do usually go to the clinicians in the clinic, and when they are serving patients, we talk to them about tuberculosis control, what they need to do, and that kind of thing. And so when I went to one of the rooms of a doctor, and he started challenging me and told me, you guys are talking about tuberculosis continuously. And we have been fighting this for many years. And you have not eliminated it. Is it that you are keeping your jobs? Nyinyi watu mnachunga tu kazi yenu, hamtaki ugonjwa ishe dunia. So that is an opportunity to increase my cycle of influence. Of course, if I was not emotionally intelligent, at that point I would be angry with him and say, but actually there's nothing much we'll discuss with you. It seems akili yako uko na negative attitude. But I had an opportunity to sit down and I told him, okay, let us discuss this disease more. And even beyond what we are doing, there are things we call social determinants of health. We have issues around the other factors that can influence control over disease and all that. And because I had built my capacity now in public health, and I was reading and undergoing a certain short course on health systems management, I was able to sit with him. And at the end of the session, he was so impressed about the way we could now argue in a scholarly way. We argued academically. We went away from the clinical work and we argued issues to do with Alma Mater Declaration of 2005. We talked about, the Alma Mater Declaration of 1952 and many others. And we discussed across board in public health issues. So at the end of the day, he took my number and he told me I will be calling you. We'll be discussing. You've become good. And I can believe you me, I trust that that clinician has changed his mind towards tuberculosis control going forward. So I'll be catching up with him as we continue engaging in that level. So, and I also congratulated him at the end of the session. I told him, congratulations for looking at things in a bigger picture, looking at policy issues and many others. So emotional intelligence does a lot when you build your capacity, the way Mel Robbins says about in this book. You can increase your cycle of control and you can increase your cycle of influence. And then you reduce this cycle of concern. You just be concerned about. For example, the president ametoa pesa ya academics, ya primary education, secondary education. Those are things you can only be concerned about, but it should not be part of your emotions. Inakuaffect mpaka usiku wa ulali unaanza kufikiria hii serikali ya Kasongo inatusumbua sana. So those are areas of concern. They are not areas of your influence or within your control. Thank you. I can see some people are laughing at that example, but many others you can also give for us to discuss as we close, coming to the close of this session. So the other thing is the insights we shall be looking at. Just borrowing from this book, I managed to tease out a few of them. So the fact that not everyone will stay with you, don't take it personally. Let others walk away if that is the situation. Manage your triggers. Do not allow people to really control your emotions. Allow people to be themselves. If people are talking and that causes you to really trigger your emotions and become very emotional, your emotional intelligence will allow you to empathize with them. And you don't need to really defend your name in every room. You allow people will talk. They will not stop talking. But at the end of the day, keep your integrity, knowing that at the end of the day, you will be vindicated. Let them take credit when they deserve. So when people have achieved something, for example, what we do in our work, we see counties excelling. Allow them to take their credit, to not quickly play along and say, yes, I was the one who did this, I was the one who did that. When you allow others to take credit for themselves, you should be able to really build your emotional intelligence and self-motivate yourself and motivate others. Let others be different, because not all of us are similar. There are situations whereby there is change. Remember, change is hard. Be aware and be socially aware when a team resists something or a new system that is coming in. For example, my friend James, he would be coming to a county like Meru where you are introducing something new, and sometimes the people can be very hesitant to take it up. But allow them to resist the change and take pole. Don't force things, and you become socially aware. Over time, they'll start coming, and you increase your cycle of control. Let them disagree. It is allowed. Disagreement is not disloyalty. Everybody has an idea which you need to listen. Just listen and listen. Let the people celebrate their capacities. Let them not like you at some point. So leadership is not a popularity contest. You allow people to sometimes dislike you. And it is part of being emotionally intelligent. So I've already mentioned this, and I'll just read this quote, which usually associated with Alcoholics Anonymous. They usually say, Lord, give me the courage to change the things which can and ought to be changed, the serenity to accept the things which cannot be changed, and the wisdom to know the difference. As I say, thank you very much. You can do a thumbs up or a round of applause. I'll share with you these slides. You can look at them. You can do these actions. You can do these exercises, and you are able to benefit from. So thank you. I think we can have a few of us say something before we close it out.
I'll go first.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much. I think today was a very emotional. Let me use the same word. A very emotional topic that has equipped us knowledge on how to handle several or different pictures when they display in our day-to-day work. I have loved the example that you've given us, and I've never seen that coming, but I think I know how I can handle it in future. That, hey, you guys are still telling us about TB here and there, and we are not finding. So is it that you only want to keep your jobs? That's a very good example, and I know we relate to it very well, and I'm happy that I've gained a lot from this particular discussion today. Thank you so much.
Asante sana Seth, and most welcome, most welcome. Yeah. Any other person?
I can go next.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Duncan. That was a beautiful presentation. So I joined midway. I've been able to learn so much, and sometimes we have emotions that we are not even aware of. So I think this was, it came at the right time. And so I thank you, and I look forward to another one.
Wonderful.
Have a good day. Yes.
You too, Lillian. Thank you. Yes, James.
So thank you, Duncan, for that session. It was very, very educative. In fact, it resonates with the common Kenyan saying, ongea ikutoke ama sema ikutoke. So a person with emotional intelligence does not necessarily have to kuongea imtoke. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely, James. Yeah. Wonderful. Betty, you want to say something?
Wacha niseme nitoke.
Acha sema ikutoke basi.
Yeah. I am very, very happy and keep what is it called? Giving us hope. I'm just wondering, normal Saturday you like to relax and there you are in your car. It doesn't matter. You had a commitment for this class and there you are. I'm so much humbled. So yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for allowing Lilian. Lilian is my friend, and yeah, thank you so much.
Karibu sana Betty. Most appreciated as well. Your participation is most appreciated. So I think we are good. Unless Nancy, you want to say something? I know Nancy is one of our upcoming leaders. She's still in the journey of learning and also getting into a career life. Nancy, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Mm.
Duncan, for today's class. I didn't know about social awareness, but now I know. Thank you.
Karibu sana. Wonderful. So I think with that, it's also been a pleasure to me sharing with you with my own personal life experiences. That makes it enriching in itself. And we trust that you can be able to use the skills and transform also your leadership journey. Otherwise, wishing you a wonderful weekend. But before we close, I will request my friend James to help us pray and close the session.
Okay, thank you, Duncan. Let's all believe and pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you, we worship you, we honor you for you are good and gracious. Thank you for giving us such a wonderful session through our teacher. We give you glory because, Lord, it is in your word that you talk about the fruit of the Spirit, and part of it you talk about self-control. Thank you, even as we learn about these topics, how to become better leaders, and in particular that we have learned today about emotional intelligence. Help us to be persons with self-control, that we may glorify your name. Help us to know what to do when situations arise, when we are provoked, how to act rather than react. We give you glory, we give you praises. In Jesus' name we pray and give thanks. Amen.
Amen.
Thank
Amen.
you.
Okay, bye.
Nice to hear you.
Okay, see you next
Bye
Saturday.
bye.
Bye.
And travel safe. Travel
That's
safe, senior.
Safe travels.
Asante sana.
Thank you for dedication to this particular class and this slot. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Sure.
Haya, kwaheri.
Thank you. Bye.